In this video, I'm comparing the Global and the Shun Sora 3.5-inch paring knives. The Global is the GS38, and the Shun Sora is the aptly named Shun Sora 3.5-inch paring knife. They are both paring knives, which you use in your hand like this, and you feed food into it, and you do that to both peel them and to break them down into smaller pieces, like imagine a piece of broccoli or something. Both of these knives are similar sharpnesses. This is 16 degrees, this is 15 degrees, which is very thin and very sharp. But on top of that, the Shun Sora is actually a much harder steel. It's VG10, which is like the gold standard in knife making, and it's a 60 to a 61 hardness, whereas the Global is Chromova 18, which is about 56 to 58 hardness. There are pros and cons to both. On the one hand, this is going to be much more resilient, it's going to hold an edge much longer, and it's not going to have to be re-honed that often. On the other hand, this knife can take much more abuse because it is a softer steel. You are going to need to hone this more often and sharpen it more often though, so it just depends on what type of cook or chef you are. But in my mind, as long as you're using a knife properly, as long as you're using good knife skills, you always want to have a harder blade because it's less maintenance down the road. The next thing is, this is forged and it has essentially a full tang. The tang ends here, which means that for all intents and purposes it works like a full tang. Whereas this is sort of forged, it's handmade obviously, they both are, but the handle doesn't actually have a tang. It's a hollow handle, they fill with sand to get the weight they want, and then they weld it right here and they smooth the whole thing out. That's nice because it allows you to have a very specific weight that fits your hand well, but there have been horror stories about that weld breaking on improperly manufactured Globals, and then you have a 15-degree angled blade flying towards your face, which no one wants to deal with. This has a lifetime warranty, this has a 10-year warranty, but for all intents and purposes they're the same. And I say that because both manufacturers state their warranty only covers obviously manufacturing defects. And any manufacturing defects are going to show up in the first few months of ownerships, not after 9 or 10 years. So for the most part, they're going to be equal. What the Shun has, the Global does not have, is a lifetime of free sharpening added on, which I think is a deal breaker. The reason it's a deal breaker is because any reputable knife sharpener who does it by hand is going to charge you roughly $5 per inch, which means both of these knives would be roughly $20 out the door to sharpen. And especially considering the fact that this is a softer blade which needs to be sharpened more often, and the fact that I'm not sure you can see, but it's already ground down in a weird way. It starts about a centimeter above the actual cutting edge. Many people can't sharpen this or will refuse to sharpen it. So you're left sort of in a weird situation. With the Shun, you mail it to Shun, they look at it, if they see any problems, they throw it away and give you a new one. But otherwise, they resharpen it and send you a blade with the exact same edge it had when you first purchased it. So like I said, there are pros and cons to both. I'm going to put a link down below. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, as always, let me know. But otherwise, I will talk to you very soon.